Coming up on Tacoma Report, we get to know the Boys and Girls Club 2025 Youth of the Year at the Legacy of Hope celebration. Check out the newest expansion of the downtown EV charging project. Jackie Ferrado from the WA529 GET program tells us how to start saving for your child's higher education with the GET prepaid tuition plan. And take a sneak preview of the upcoming Ground to Sound Film Festival. All that and more on Tacoma Report. Hello and welcome to Tacoma Report. I'm Lora Proctor. The South Sound Boys and Girls Club recently held their annual Legacy of Hope, celebrating our Youth of the Year Awards banquet. Get to know these remarkable young men and women in this report from Dan Strothman. On a personal note, it was also a special night for my family as well, as my siblings and I presented my dad, Lewis Cooper Jr., with the Stan Nacarado Award.
Good evening, Tacoma. Yes, welcome.
The annual Boys and Girls Club Legacy of Hope Awards banquet honors the South Sound Club's Youth of the Year, as well as raises money for scholarships and to fund the various Boys and Girls Clubs locations in the South Sound.
We're excited about what lies ahead, and tonight is a celebration about all the amazing young people and their stories. It's a testament to the impact you have made, the lives you are helping to transform.
Awards given out included the Stan Nacarado Award presented to Lewis P. Cooper Jr.
Diversity is not a threat. Diversity is not a threat. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's part of the American fabric, and you can't slice it, you can't dice it, and you can't make it disappear.
Latasha Wortham was inducted into the Boys and Girls Clubs of South Puget Sound Hall of Fame.
Somewhere that children feel like they belong. Because you know what? Belonging is a good thing. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a good thing. Because you're building strong humans with good character who are going to run this world.
Attendees got to hear from all 4 Youth of the Year nominees.
These incredible kids are creating meaningful change. They are the future leaders we need so very much right now.
I want to educate youth on the knowledge of what it means to live a healthy lifestyle, and I'm not just talking about what you put in your bodies. I'm talking about the ramifications that can become of our youth from not being self-sufficient.
As I grew older, I came to understand the true value of the club, not just as a place, but as a community that nurtured my growth.
Volunteering is a value I hold close to heart. With my family's background, I feel it's very important to volunteer in the communities that once helped me. My parents gave so much to me, and that's what's pushed me to give back to others, and the club is a beautiful place to do so.
Since 3rd grade, helping people gave me a warm feeling, a feeling that I impacted somebody's life for the better. Luckily, club is now supporting volunteering.
I got the envelope. It's still sealed, as you can tell here. Mason Sullivan. Mason Sullivan, come up here.
The impact that they've made on me as a youth just shows me how much I can do and impact youth in my community, wherever I am, if that's Colorado, if that's California. So I most definitely will be finding a local Boys and Girls Club and volunteering my time with them.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Dan Strothman.
The City of Destiny Awards celebrate exceptional contributions to Tacoma across a wide range of categories. Since its inception, more than 330 individuals and groups have been honored at the City of Destiny Awards for their commitment to improving life in Tacoma. The City of Tacoma is accepting nominations from now until March 14th. The nomination form and additional details can be found at tacomaavenues.org. Applications are now open for the 2025-2026 Tacoma Creates funding. Tacoma Creates invites local nonprofit organizations whose primary purpose is to advance or preserve arts, culture, heritage, and/or science to apply for funding to support their public programming and expand access for our community. Applications for comprehensive organizational support funding is due March 10, 2025, offering up to 15% of annual budgets. Applications for impact funding, in which organizations can request between $3,000 and $60,000, are due March 24, 2025. Both funding categories support diverse public and youth education programs. Eligibility criteria and application details can be found on the Tacoma Creates website. Staff is available to answer questions and support the application process. Visit the website to learn more today. The city is charging ahead with its downtown EV charging expansion project, nearly doubling the number of electric vehicle chargers in downtown Tacoma. Now, with 34 new charging plugs in an 8 city-operated parking areas, EV drivers have more options than ever, including new fast charging stations near I-705. This expansion supports Tacoma's climate action plan by making clean transportation more accessible and reducing carbon emissions. In addition to city-owned stations, downtown and in most business districts, fee-based charging is available at more than 40 Tacoma businesses, with fast charging sites near highway corridors. To learn more and see a list of city-owned charging locations, visit the city site. Coming up after the break, we'll talk with Jackie Ferrado from the WA529 GET program and learn about how you can start saving for higher education now. Welcome back to Tacoma Report. Joining me now is Jackie Ferrado from the Washington 529 GET program. Welcome to the show, Jackie.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here.
Happy to be here.
So, Jackie, would you share with our viewers, there's been some significant enhancements to the program. And to make it even better than it was, if it can be any better, can you share with our viewers what those enhancements are?
Yeah. So you know already that Washington 529 stands for the Washington 529 Education Savings Plans. And so that includes our prepaid tuition plan and our investment-based plan. So the enhancements that have just come about on February 10th is our new partnership with a program manager that is TIAA. And we're really excited about this partnership because it brings to families in our communities an easy to understand way of saving for their kids' education and tying that to how do I make an investment. So these enhancements allow families to choose from a variety of different investment portfolios, and those are big words sometimes, but really is a way to save for their kids' education and be certain that that money's going to be there when the kids are ready to launch off into that education after high school. So we've got some investment lineups that allow for a reduction in the service and asset-based fees, which is really great because you don't want to pay more fees than you need to. We've also been able to eliminate an account maintenance fee altogether. So that means more money in their savings account, means more money goes back to their kids to use for their education. And then along with that is just a simplified enrollment process and even some ways that really matter, investments that really matter to people, such as what they call ESG. So families who are really interested in investment options that allow for them to think of companies that are environmentally and socially responsible. And then we have a guaranteed investment option, which is really settles for people who have maybe really a risk tolerance that is kind of lower risk tolerance, so that they feel a little bit more comfortable about that. So we're excited.
Well, that's really nice that some of these enhancements are allowing the families not only to save money, but making it easier, making the process easier.
Yes.
So I'm sure that they will definitely appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the program, so why would you say using GET or the WA529 is easier? What's the difference between, let's say, using a savings, using your savings account?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that families are already saving, and the first thing I would say is, don't stop what you're already doing. But probably one of the best strategies for maximizing savings is actually diversifying. So not kind of thinking there's only one way or one path, because every different savings vehicle will offer different features. And if you kind of have the mindset of putting all your eggs in one basket, you might miss some really great features. So 529 plans are uniquely established for saving for education. So those earnings in the account, as money is saved and it's growing tax-free. And then when the kids use it for educational expenses and attend colleges, universities, trade schools, even apprenticeship programs, then those earnings will stay untaxed. So those stand out for reasons to include a 529 plan in any saving strategy, especially when it comes to education.
And you did just mention this. I was going to say, you know, what if a student wants to learn a trade rather than go to college? They can still use the GET or the WA529 to pay for that.
Yes, it's so important to get that message out there too, because there's not just one path for pursuing additional education after high school. And some statistics we know right now is that more than 75 or 70% of current job openings are expecting that an employee is going to come into that workforce either already pursuing or have pursued education beyond high school. So it's going to be important for them to get into the careers and the jobs that they love the most and they're most passionate about, and getting that education from the path that directly influences that. So if they choose or need to go to community college or technical or vocational school or an apprenticeship program, it's just as valuable as a 4-year college or university degree.
Absolutely. And you did touch on this, but can you also just reiterate to our viewers why saving is important and what else families should know when it comes to preparing for education and career training after high school?
Yes, you know, savings is important for a lot of reasons, right? If we tuck the money away, then we know that we've got something later on to use towards that. And that alone builds up motivation, it builds up encouragement, and there are statistics too that are showing that when a student, it doesn't even matter how old the child might be, they could still be a kindergartner, and we know many of them, right? As when they know that there's money that's been set aside for their education, it does something to instill that confidence and that success idea for them proceeding through their academic years. So saving for their education is going to be important so that those kids, when they're ready to launch into that level of education after high school, post-secondary education, they're not worried about how am I going to pay for this when this is what I want to do. And it combines so nicely with scholarships, with financial aid. There's not going to be any one path again to cover those expenses. They all work together to help support that student through their academic years.
Okay, and kind of piggybacking off of that, so what if a student or family, they receive their investment account, they build that up over the years, and let's say they get a scholarship and they decide not to go to college. Can that family use the savings for something else?
Yep.
Okay.
So one of the first things we suggest, you know, when our kids are really little, which is a prime time for starting that savings account, you don't know what they're going to do or where they're going to go or what their dreams are, right? So the savings alone, just getting started is the first step, and just take advantage of it, right? But as they're moving along and they're making those decisions about where they want to go and what they want to pursue, then the idea that if they get a scholarship that helps cover those expenses for their tuition or any of their fees, that savings can still cover other things that still need to be paid. Room and board, books, required supplies. There's even the flexibility of transferring money between family members. So one might get a really good scholarship package and another one might not, or might be going to a more expensive school. So the ability to transfer between family members, or even waiting it out a little bit if they need it later. And new federal benefits have also come into play over the last year and a half, which will allow the transfer or the rollover of any unused savings in a 529 account to move into a Roth IRA for that child. And so if it's not there for their education, it can certainly help bump up their retirement savings later on.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. And you know, we really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing all of this very valuable information for our students or students-to-be.
Students-to-be, yes.
And we look forward to having you back on the show again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll get a sneak preview of the upcoming Ground to Sound Film Festival. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to Tacoma Report. On March 14th, the second annual Ground to Sound Film Festival will be held at the Foss Waterway. In addition to the film screenings, there will be live performances, interactive art installations, literary readings, and music.
Your role is dog poop.
Dog poop?
You're lying in the grass. It's raining. You roll down the gutter into the storm drain.
What happens next? Do I go to the sewage treatment plant?
There's no sewage treatment plant for storm drains. Why does everybody think that? You're going to the Sound, man.
The Sound?
March 14th, it's going to be a good one, 6 to 9:30 p.m. We are going to have, it's going to be a treat. Here at Foss Waterway Seaport, we are going to have a film produced by Foster's Creative. Within that film, the top selections of each tier will be nested throughout that. So you'll get to see some of the winning film submissions. We'll have a little award ceremony and be celebrating the folks that submitted their pieces were selected.
In western Washington, the sea reaches far into the land, forming Puget Sound. Here, everything flows downhill, from the mountains to the Sound. These waters, however, are under constant attack.
The water that leaves the city of Tacoma and enters the Puget Sound, we still want to make sure that it gets clean. As some people know, the Foss Waterway, which is just over beyond that wall, the city had a huge cleanup effort to clean it up, and it was a super fun site and to make it healthy so that we could have what it is today.
So my favorite thing about the tagline, if it hits the ground, it hits the sound, is one that it rhymes. It's easy to say, and it's easy to remember.
You know, I think you'll like Tacoma.
I think that they're going to be amazed, first of all, for someone who has little to no creative bones in my body. I'm always amazed to see people of any age, whether it's photography, film, music, poetry, whatever art they may excel at, I'm always in awe and I'm always inspired. When it's youth, it gives me confidence that maybe the next generation or generations are going to be okay.
You can RSVP for the March 14th event at groundtosoundfilmandartfest.com/event info. Doors open at 6, program starts at 6:30, followed by art and community connections until 9:30. That wraps up another episode of Tacoma Report. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and stay connected.